20 years ago, a boy accidentally caused his playmate's death. He hid the body in a rock crevice deep in the forest, thinking this secret would remain buried forever. But 20 years later, the town decided to redevelop that very forest. Watching the trees being cut down one by one, Jack was instantly consumed by panic, terrified his secret in the rocks would be discovered. Realizing he couldn't just sit and wait, Jack didn't hesitate. He searched his house for useful tools, then snuck out under cover of darkness, planning to revisit the scene from 20 years ago to completely eliminate all evidence. But then, as Jack approached that familiar rock crevice, he suddenly caught a pungent odor. Seeing the boy's down jacket still intact, Jack quickly grabbed his tools, trying to pull the jacket out, but the crevice opening was too narrow. He couldn't maneuver properly. Just as despair was setting in, he heard loggers' voices approaching. This sent Jack fleeing in terror. Little did he know, because of his flight, the loggers discovered the body hidden in the rock crevice. The very next day, the mayor immediately gathered the townspeople to announce the truth about the boy who vanished 20 years ago. The boy's remains had been found, and after careful forensic examination, they determined he died from blunt force trauma to the temple. They even found on the boy's clothing a hair that didn't belong to the victim. After technical analysis, the hair belonged to a Caucasian male with brown hair. While Jack was panicking with fear, the boy's parents erupted in anger. They demanded all residents submit to DNA testing, determined to find their son's killer. But this put the police in a difficult position. Since there was only one perpetrator, the hair could belong to, or possibly a drifter. Such measures would only drain resources. Besides, the case was 20 years old. The higher-ups wouldn't approve town-wide DNA testing. There was only one way to catch the killer now. Enter the hair into the DNA database. If the perpetrator ever took a DNA test, he would eventually be caught. Though the timeline was uncertain. Could be years, could be decades. Hearing this, Jack finally breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he never took a DNA test, he'd be fine. But what he never expected was the next day at the hospital where he worked, a driver suddenly approached him and handed him a bracelet. This bracelet was the very one Jack had accidentally dropped in the forest 20 years ago. It turned out, 20 years ago, after Jack had buried the body and noticed Jack acting suspiciously. Though, he didn't discover the body in the crevice at that time. But when news of the missing boy spread through town the next day, he realized Jack was the perpetrator. The driver urged Jack to turn himself in, then left town without looking back. While Jack was drowning in anxiety, his girlfriend delivered some news. She was 3 months pregnant and wanted Jack to marry her right away. But Jack refused to acknowledge it. His girlfriend told him to take a DNA test if he didn't believe her. Hearing DNA, Jack was instantly trapped. He had no choice but to agree to marry her. The most ironic twist in this film, his girlfriend was the missing boy's sister, and his father-in-law was the missing boy's father. Because of this, Jack would spend the rest of his days living with guilt and remorse forever, bearing endless suffering alone.